This is Cricket Song with Lunar Wisdom, and I come to you from the glorious, beautiful backyard of the home that we're renting here in Seattle, Washington. I want to take this opportunity today to sort of do a video response to a video that I watched earlier a few days ago by the Autumn Witch, where she talked about labels. I think the video is titled Starseeds, Witches, and Lightworkers, Who Are We and What Are We Doing? And I kind of wanted to sort of join in the conversation that she started, because I think this is an important topic, and the idea of labels really resonates with me and really always have. The topic really has always played a big part of not only my witchiness, but also my spiritual life. You know, I love words, and I think embracing a label can be very helpful. So Joanne started her video in defining these different labels, starseeds and light workers and witches and indigo children, and this whole all these different types of labels that people within the spiritual community may identify with and adopt for themselves. And I definitely can resonate with some of the labels that she talked about. And she brought up an interesting topic on how these labels have sort of mingled and merged. And that really would make a wonderful video on its own for me. And I may explore that further at a later date. But I really want to talk about the idea of, you know, adopting a label for yourself, and whether you're using that label as a as a support for yourself, or if you're using it in a most beneficial way for your own spiritual growth, or whether you're sort of using these labels to discriminate. Meaning that you are using labels to isolate others, or even isolate yourself from the greater community, which from my perspective can be a hindrance and also can be very harmful, not only to you, but to others. I do believe, you know, as witch, right at this moment of making this video, I identify as a pagan witch. And I identify that way because I want others to understand that I definitely practice witchcraft. I am a witch, but I'm also not really associated with any one particular spiritual path at this point. I really identify as pagan, meaning that I don't have I'm not Wiccan, I'm not Christian, I am just pagan, which really incorporates, in my perspective, a very broad spectrum in what I believe in a spiritual sense. When you look at my practice, I'm also a Reiki master teacher. I am also someone who practices law of attraction practitioner. You know, there are still lingering threads of Wicca within my practice, and there are lingering threads of Christianity in my practice. But what I feel like really identifies me is being a pagan witch. I use that to find community. I use that label to empower me, to help others have sort of some understanding of who I am and what it is that I practice. But in my own life, in my own practice, I understand that as my journey takes me through life, that things within my own witchcraft or within my own spiritual practice may shift and change and transition, and that label of pagan witch may not fit me, you know, a month, 2 months, a year, 2 years down the road. And I may find that I want to drop that label and adopt a new label for myself. And because I recognize that fluidity within my own spiritual practice, I also recognize that in others as well. While some people may find that labels are very restricting and very limiting, and they don't want to define themselves in any way, I respect that. I recognize that. And I also understand that people can use labels as weapons. You know, they will define others by their own terms and not really listen to how that individual will define themselves. And they will then use that label to ostracize others or to separate themselves from others in a way that it isn't beneficial to themselves or the other person. And in her video, Joanne really brought up some questions, and I jotted a few of them down to sort of ask myself and to sort of, you know, ask you, my viewers, anybody that may be watching this video, you know, do you find or do you adopt labels so that you can find community? Or do you adopt labels so that you can separate yourself from others, you know, to sort of feel special or feel unique? And that in and itself is not a bad thing. You know, we all are unique, but we are all part of a larger community. You know, we are all human beings, you know, so we are all we are all me. We are all you. We are all me, and we are all us. We are sort of the larger. So when you're looking at labels, like I said, I do feel like there is a benefit to that. I feel like when we adopt a label like witch, it is empowering. It aligns us with other individuals who identify as witch today, as well as those who identified themselves as witch yesterday, and the ancestors of the witches, as well as those who will identify as witch in the future. And there is this pool of energy that we can draw from when we identify in that way. But it also separates us, right, from others as well, which can be a good thing as well as a bad thing. So I would encourage you to sort of explore your own motives for adopting a label or not adopting a label, and really, you know, dig through that and explore that, and for yourself, understand why it is you do what you do, which is really at the crux of everything that I believe in. Understanding why we do what we do. What is the purpose? What is the motive? What is the reason behind these things? And I guess in the end, determine for yourself if labels are really necessary. You know, for me in my path, in my craft, in my life, labels are necessary. I find power within them, but I also understand when it's important to drop a label or to adopt a new label for myself, because I am ever becoming witch. That's all I wanted to add. As always, I love you. Blessed be. Mwah.